Hey there, this is Foggy. Welcome to day 9 of my ill-advised and stupid journey through the realm of solo board gaming. This is Hit Zeroed, and I'm actually doing this for the second time. I made so many errors when I played this the first time, including a really big one, that I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do this again, and it should go a little bit quicker. This is a game that is actually adapted from another board game called Hit the Road. And in fact, this cover art, the travel game here, the instructions on the back are all taken from the original Hit. This is what Hit the Road looked like originally. The premise of this game is that this is the game that a kid came up with after his family moved from Chicago to LA during a zombie outbreak. And since they managed to make it and survive, Martin decided to come up with a little board game based on that. And the person who actually designed it, Martin Wallace, obviously it's a kid version of him, but this is the contents. As I always like to do, we're going to go ahead and try to do this so that you get to see the full setup, not just simply start the video and see how it's set up. Fortunately, since I've just played this, I'm going to remember most of it, and hopefully not make any stupid mistakes like last time. We've got a lot of different components here, some of which we need and some of which we don't need. So for example, this is an auction board. This is not used in the solo version of the game. That's just used in multiplayer. Same with these little point cards that you get at the end of it for getting certain things or meeting certain goals. So we're going to put all that over there. I'm going to break out a couple of these things. This will be for holding the various tokens that we'll need throughout the game. What I love about this game is that it looks like the sort of thing that somebody would do if they just had a bunch of game parts that they were trying to adapt. So these are meant to be adrenaline tokens. They're one of the 3 things that you'll be trying to accumulate and that you'll need to spend throughout the game. These are bullets. The blue ones are bullets. A couple more in there. So what I like to do whenever I'm playing a game like this, and I don't have to worry about resource limitations. In other words, if I run out of bullets, I just use another token, which is unlikely to happen. I like to leave one in the bag so that way it's easier for me to tell which one was supposed to be which. Not that it really matters that much, but I'll do the same with the gas, which is the red. These are the dice that are used. When you're fighting zombies, typically you'll be rolling black dice. However, there are hordes in this game that you will have the red dice come out, and you'll need that for that. We've also got a bunch of zombies and player tokens. I'm just going to pour them all out. We're not going to need the bidding tokens that are these large cylinders. Those are used with the auction board in the multiplayer game. And as always, I like to play green, so the other ones go back in. So we got our green guy here. These are the zombies. They're going to go off in the corner here. They'll be attacking us every now and again, and these are our survivors. Put all the extra ones over here, but we do start the game with 4 of everything. So we start with 4 survivors. We start with 4 adrenaline. Go ahead and get those out. We'll start with 4 bullets. I'm hoping you can see everything there. 4 gas. Yes, we still need 1 more bullet. And then there are a bunch of little tokens, a bunch of little extra things in here. These are initiative markers. We won't be needing those for multiplayer. And in addition, these are Contamination Zones markers. Those help us, in the multiplayer game, those help indicate zones that are dangerous to go into because a player died there. Those are brought out after the 3rd or the 4th or the 1st or 2nd player dies, I believe. Then these are some additional round tokens. They come up during the game. They actually help give the game a little bit of a narrative feel. So things that happen in the first set of cards, can have a major impact in the 2nd and the 3rd set of cards. So you get a little bit of story each time. Not a whole lot of story. It's a story with a capital S. There's not much strategy to this game. It is strategy with a lowercase s. There is a little bit, but it's mostly about resource management, pressing your luck, and hoping that the dice are ever in your favor. Now, there are 4 types of cards here, technically. There are the extra bonus cards that I put back already. Each of these are numbered. So we've got Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3. We'll be going through these decks. They become more difficult as time progresses. So often in the first one, you'll have things that give you a lot of resources. There's one in there that's like 4 gas plus a bus. And then this later one is, hey, by the way, here's a horde and you have to fight it. Otherwise, you're going to die. During the start of the game, there are going to be some cards that are... I think I may have already pulled these out. Yeah, I did. So there are some cards in here that have make it clear that these are on the backs of playing cards. And they have little kings, queens, aces, and jacks on them. For the solo game, you pull these out. These do not become part of the regular play. They're only used in multiplayer. So we're going to go ahead and pull them out. And the big mistake I made was that you're also supposed to then pull out 4 cards from each deck. And the reason that you do that is you start with, I think it's 28, 28, and 20 for the numbers of cards you have. In the solo game, you'll be going through 6 cards at a time, and you'll be playing for 8 rounds. So there's 12 in the first round, there's 3 in the second round, and 3 in the fourth round. 2 in the first deck, 3 in the second deck, 3 in the third deck. Now, the mistake I made is I forgot to pull out the extra 4 cards. So I had 2 extra turns to basically accumulate points, and that's not really how the game is played. So we're going to pull aside 4 cards from our first deck. We're going to pull aside 4 cards from our second deck, and then also with the third. And then we're going to make them into a stack. And then that's it for the shuffling. There's no more shuffling after that. From then on, it's just get through the deck as best you can. But that means that some of these cards that help set up other cards, you might have the first one and not have the second one, or you might have the second one and not have the first one, which is kind of a bummer. But it is part of the luck aspect of this game. So there we go. We've set aside our cards. 3 goes on the bottom, then 2, then 1. And this represents our journey from Chicago to LA through a zombie-infested America. And we want to put the cards like this so the number is in the lower right. That'll help when you flip over the cards for you to see which one is which. This game is played in 8 rounds, and in each round you'll get 3 pairs of cards to choose from. Now, the way that the cards get laid out is that the top row, gets put out face down. The second row gets put down face up and face down. And then the third one is put up face up and face up. So you get to see exactly what's going on here. Now, in this game, if you decide to go for the top one, which is unknown, you have to spend 2 resources, or you gain 2 resources to do it. So if I wanted to do this one right up here, I would be able to get, like, I'd pull a gas or an adrenaline, or I'd pull a fuel, any combination of 2 resources from up there. Sorry, this is not a promotion for this particular brand of coffee. I just still need coffee because it's still early in the morning right now. If you decide to take the second route, that's somewhat planned. You don't gain any resources, you don't spend any resources. So you do whatever's on the first card, then you flip over the second, and then you do whatever's on the second card. This bottom row is the planned out map. You know what's coming, so you'll have to give up 2 resources to go this route. So in this case, I could give up an adrenaline and a fuel. I could give up 2 bullets, which is probably what I'll do. But I have to give up 2 resources to take this route. You know what it is, so there's no concern about how you're going to play it. But you do end up. It is a known route. And I just want to check one more thing really quick, because as I mentioned, I made a mistake in my first playthrough, and then I ended up having to redo the entire game. The mistake I made was, again, leaving in those 4 extra cards. I also did not roll the correct number of dice and some other stuff as well. But I just want to make sure I'm starting out with the right number of survivors. Yep, I am. Cool. That's all good. I'm going to leave this here. It's a very cute rule book. It's got a little intro from Martin here about how they play, about how Martin came up with the game. There's a little scoring thing on the back for the solo play. And basically it is a what's your best score sort of thing. So you can start off with Father Gabriel if you get 0 to 5 points. You can go all the way to Lucky or Genius at 22 plus. The way you get points is that there are purple stars on each of these. These are worth points at the end of the game. Every set of resources you have plus Survivor is worth another point. So right now I'd get 4 points for this because I have one complete set 4 times over. If I had only 2 gas tokens, I'd only have 2 points from that. In addition, there are other ways to get points throughout the game, but I will leave that for discovery as we go along. Let's go ahead and flip these over just so that we have the tokens showing. Should be good here, so let's go ahead and get going. Now, in this case, this is the obvious. This is definitely going to be what I take. I'm actually going to give up 2 bullets to take it. I'm going to get 2 bullets back. I'm going to get a survivor. The number of survivors you have helps when you're fighting zombies. I'll get a point for this at the end of the game, so that's a plus. And then this one, I'll gain 4 bullets. So now I'm doing even better. Got 8 bullets total. And I'll get a point for that. So despite the fact that I had to give up resources for it and gave up bullets for it, it was still, I think, the much better choice to take. We won't look at the other cards. We'll just simply take these, and they'll go off to the side. We now do our second round. Again, face down for the top row. That's the easiest thing to mess up, is not putting the cards face down. We then go face up, face down, and then face up, and face up. Now this is the first one where we've got a little token here that indicates the number of zombies that we have to fight if we decide to go this route. We would be fighting 3 zombies, and we'll get to fighting in a bit. We're not going to take this route, so I'm not going to explain it right now. If I were to take this top one, I could gain 2 resources, but I think this is the better one to take. I'm going to get 4 gas for that if I take it, and taking the middle route means that I do not have to take. It means I do not have to give up any resources. I don't gain any resources. I also get the little bus token, which is the indication that I now have the bus. And that can come into play later. There's a map token on this one, and if I had gotten that map token and then got a specific card later on, I could have gotten 6 extra points at the end of the game. I just don't think that it's likely or worth it. There's a good chance that you'll miss that completely, so I'm not going to take a risk. It's a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush sort of thing. We are not doing this one. So we'll go ahead and combine that with these. And these go off to the side. And we'll flip this one over. And well, all right, excellent. Old guy who gave us the map. So we get an adrenaline token, and we still get the map token because life is pretty awesome. All right, so that is also the end of the luck that we'll probably have. The first deck is always pretty easy to do. Second one, again, face down. Can't mess that up. Face up. And face up. All right, so looking at what we have here, if we take the known route, we're going to get 2 gas, 2 bullets, and we have to give up 2 resources. We also have a fight and a fight, and that's worth 2 points. 2 points would be nice at the end of the game. I just don't think it's worth it. We have the unknown up here, and we have this one here. We'll get a gas token. We'll have to fight 5 zombies. We'll get 1 point for that, and then Lord knows what that is. I think I'm actually going to go for the unknown. And the reason I'm going to go for the unknown is I really want to get some adrenaline. Adrenaline is incredibly useful for avoiding survivors getting eaten. We'll get 2 adrenaline because you get 2 resources, and the third one that I pocketed in my hand goes back in. And then we're going to flip these over one at a time. So the first one is we're going to get a gas token. 1 more gas. We'll be fighting 5 zombies, so we're going to go ahead and line these up like this. And just as a reminder, we'll go ahead and put our survivors out here, and our survivors are now facing the zombies. Now, for every bullet that you have, you can choose to run away at this point. You can choose to say, we're not going to fight these zombies. You don't get the points at the end of the game, and you have to give up 2 gas tokens to do so. It's kind of useful near the end of the game when you're dealing with large groups of zombies and there are no points at stake. Early on in the game, though, it's not really as worth it. We want to fight these pokes. The first action you can do, you can get 1 range round. And for that, you'll spend 1 bullet to use 2 dice to roll up against the zombies. Now, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use 2 bullets. We're still relatively early in the game, and that's going to give me 4 dice total to play with. We'll discard those. On this first roll, on the range roll, any target icon, and there's the target and a target with a lightning bolt. Those are the only things that count. There's also a skull with a lightning bolt and a lightning bolt, and then a black just a blank side. Those don't matter in the range round. So the idea is that we want to get as many targets as possible. We don't want to get anything else. And we got one target, and that's it. All right, so they're done. Now we start melee. Now melee is different. Melee, you're going to use black dice for every survivor. So we're going to have 6 here total. You count the lead survivor, which was a mistake I made in the first run through. You'll have these 6 dice here that you'll roll. And if you get a skull with a lightning bolt on it, you're going to have to use an adrenaline or you lose that survivor. If you get a lightning bolt, you can then use an adrenaline to kill a zombie. If you get a target, you kill a zombie. If you get a target with a lightning bolt, you kill one zombie, and then you can use an adrenaline to kill a second zombie. And then finally, there are black sides as well. The red dice are deadlier, and we'll come into that in just a bit. And so what do we have? We have a really good first hand. We have 4 targets plus a lightning bolt plus a blank. All the targets kill the zombies. We don't have to worry about anything else. We have successfully gained a point. So we're doing all right. We're up to 3 points total. We're still a farther Gabriel stage. Next one is going to be Amen. Pray for their soul. So we'll get 2 bullets to make up for the 2 bullets that we just lost. And we'll face off against 4 zombies. And in this case, I'm not going to go ahead and use the bullets to fight the zombies. I'm just going to go ahead. We could use 2 gas and just run away. There's no points at stake here, but it's also only 4 zombies. I'll go ahead and take the risk. We've got 6 survivors. All right, so first thing that we need to deal with are the skulls. Now, if I don't give up an adrenaline, I'm going to lose 2 survivors, so we're going to go ahead and give up that adrenaline. We've got 2 targets. So that kills off 2 zombies. And now I have 2 adrenaline. And the thing is, I could use the 2 adrenaline to take out the last 2 zombies, and I don't think that that's worth it. It's an option. It would mean that I'd win the round, I'd win the card, and I wouldn't have to worry about anything else, except I don't want to use up the adrenaline this early in the game, and I'm already down to 5 because I had the 2 bullets there, or 2 lightning bolts. I had a roll in the previous game. It was 5 of those skulls, and so I had to use 5 adrenaline to get through it, and I was like, are you kidding me? I've been doing so well. And suddenly I'm like, not doing well at all. All right, so no skulls, so that's good. We got 4 targets, 2 lightning bolts. These zombies are toast. Dice go back over here. Card gets put into our discard pile. It's not worth any points, but we'll keep it over there anyway. So now we're on to round 4. There's only 8 rounds in this game, so it does go pretty quick if you know what you're doing. I did not know what I was doing the first time around, so the video took like an hour to record, which is what really makes it kind of a bummer that I have to do this again. So again, we're doing 2 face down, 1 face down, 1 face up. Sorry, 1 face up, 1 face down, and then 2 face up. This is just garbage right here. We'd have to give up 2 resources. We'd gain 2 adrenaline, 1 gas can, but then we'd discard one of our other resources again and lose a survivor. So that's just not an option. We could go this route. We have 6 zombies, and if we do any sort of shooting at the beginning, we could run the risk of attracting more zombies. It's one of the few cases where the skull matters in that first roll. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the top row. We're going to take 2 more adrenaline because it is the resource that we're shortest on. We'll go ahead and get rid of all these other cards here. And let's go ahead and we'll do these one at a time. So first up, we've got, holy cow, that is a mother load. That is, I didn't even know this card existed. I honestly did not think a card like this existed. We now have 13 gas. You can't even see it on the screen. I'm going to have to do that so that you can see it all on the screen. That is amazing, and it's worth a point. So in addition to a bus, we now have a gas tanker. We're doing pretty damn good. Now, oh goody. So she said I was a treat. This is where you could get really, really messed. All right, so we're going to gain an adrenaline. We're going to say goodbye to some survivors. I hate this card. I hate this card. This could potentially kill everybody. If you lose everybody, including your lead survivor, that's it. You're done. In the multiplayer game, the game can continue. It's just the path that you're on becomes infected and condemned. So... All right. Not a single skull. Nobody dies. That... I just bought lottery tickets. They're going to win because that was incredibly lucky. It is apparently a lucky day for me. That was awesome. All right, so now we're going to do round 5. We're almost through the 2 deck. Again, face down, face up, face down. And then finally face up, face up. And it's not even a choice. We're going this route. We're going to use 2 gas to take this route. We're going to get 2 bullets. And at the end of the game, the map token is now worth 6 points. This is the card that I was hoping to get. We've gotten it. Our game is looking great. Then we're going to get 1 more bullet. And we have to spend a gas or lose a survivor, so we'll spend a gas. And that goes in here as well. We didn't get any points from the cards, but I don't care because that map is worth 6 points, and that is a lot of points in one game. It actually feels a little imbalanced that it's worth 6 points, but you have to get the right 2 cards at the right time. And I think there's actually a negative version of what can happen with that map. All right. All right, so here, okay, so we can fight 1 zombie and we can fight 4 zombies, and there's no point in bothering. What's nice is that this is kind of a multiplayer one, which is kind of weird, and I'm surprised it didn't get flagged as, remove this before you start the game. Here, we can spend another gas token. We're doing fine on gas, and then we get an unknown. We don't gain anything from it. And I think I want to go with the top route because I think we need to get some more adrenaline before we do these final 3 rounds. So we're going to get 2 adrenaline here. These cards go bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you for playing. And now we reveal these one at a time. All right, first up. So we're going to be in a situation that we are going to gain an adrenaline, and we're going to get 6 zombies that we have to face. And the question is, it's not a horde, so that's actually a plus. We've just got a lot of them. It's going to be a lot of zombies. And if I want to, I can use some bullets on this one. It's not worth any points. We're fleeing. Know when to fight and know when to not fight. So we're fleeing. That card gets discarded. It wasn't worth any points, so I think that was the best way to go. And now we've got a horde. Now we've got a nasty, nasty horde. So with the horde, again, we're going to get 6 dice to start off with. We're going to get 6 zombies to start off with. We don't have to worry about using bullets and having that be a negative. We'll go ahead and pull these in. If we want to, that'll give us 6 bullets to work from. The 3 skulls at the top of this means that when we go to roll our melee dice, instead of 6 black, it's going to be 3 black and 3 red. Now these red dice replace as many black dice as there are skulls here. So if you only had 2 survivors left and you only had 2 dice to roll and you were fighting this card, you would just replace these 2. You'd just roll with 2 red. You wouldn't bring in the 3rd red because there's no black dice to replace it. In this case, though, we're going to go 2. Is it worth? It's not worth fighting because there's no gain to it. But we're also now down to 8 gas, and I'd like to have 6 gas by the end of this. So I don't think we're going to get any more gas unless we take the top route each time. I think we're going to fight them, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 bullets this time around. We're going to use a whopping amount of bullets to roll 6 dice because it is so deadly. Now the bus thing does actually allow you to treat hordes as regular zombies if you get a certain card in the second deck. It's called the Evacuator or the Executor or something like that. And if you get that, it suddenly turns your bus into a killing machine. We did not get that, so first up we get a cock dice there, so we'll re-roll that. But that's good. That's 4 dice that get eliminated. Holy moly. That's actually good. So now we're going to take 3 dice. We're going to replace these with the 3 here. Now, the big difference between the red dice and the red dice and the black dice is that that empty square that's on the black dice gets replaced with a skull. And if you get that skull, that means the zombies have gotten your survivor, and there's no saving them. There's no using adrenaline to save that survivor. So we could be looking at our first survivor loss here, which is pretty lucky given that we're this far into the game. All right, so we get 2 targets. That's going to take out the remaining zombies. We get 2 skulls, both of which have little lightning bolts next to them. We'll give up 2 adrenaline. We save our survivors, and we live to fight another day. That card goes to here. And now we do our next round. This is the 7th round, the penultimate round. We're almost through. We get that. Okay, so we could go through here and fight an army of 4, get an adrenaline, fight an army of 6 with 2 skulls, and a 2 point. It's worth 2 points. It's not worth it. We'd have to give up 2 resources to go this route. If we go through here, we have to spend 2 fuel to take away that, or lose a survivor, which we really don't want to do, and then face an unknown. I think we want to go through here. We want to go through here. We'll take a bullet and we'll take a gas token. We've now got 9 of each. I'll say goodbye to these. Deck 3 has some really nasty cards, so it's not like you're saving yourself. Like, it's not like, maybe there's the good ones under here. There's no good ones. There's just no good ones in Deck 3. Deck 3 is all bad. Like this. So we're going to gain an adrenaline. And this is worth 2 points. We'll be facing a horde with, so it's 6 zombies plus 2 skulls. And for every skull we roll on the range die, we have to add a zombie. So it might not even be worth it to do the zombie. Now the thing is, I want to get to 22 points. And right now I'm looking at what? 6, 12, and squat for points over here. Because I really have not done a whole lot of point totals. So that's 4 there. So right now I'm looking at 16 points. It's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. I can't run away twice and then still have some points at the end of it. So that's a negative. I think I have to face the zombies. I think I have to. We're going to go 6 here. We're not going to use bullets this time around because I don't want to attract any more zombies. We're just going to go for the full-on 6 on 6. Here we go. Oh, and because it's 2 skulls, I only replace 2 of the dice with red dice, so that's somewhat better. Okay, good. My 2 dice actually worked out perfectly. So 4 targets takes out all of these. I'm left with 2 zombies. Here's the thing. I can use 2 adrenaline because I've got the 2 lightning bolts here, plus this one and this one. This is a target plus a lightning bolt, and it allows you to kill a zombie, then use an adrenaline to kill a second zombie. So I have enough adrenaline here. I can take out these last 2 zombies if I use 2 adrenaline. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because I'm okay with losing the adrenaline at this point. I've still got 6. I can still save a few people. It takes out the 2 zombies. I don't then have to re-roll again, and that's really important. I don't want to re-roll with these red dice. If I can, we'll take the 2 zombies, the 2 points there. We're now up to 18 points, and we're going on to our next card, which is gain a bullet, gain an adrenaline, get 2 points, and we'll fight 3 zombies. This is, I take that back. This is the good card. We're going to spend 2 bullets, and we're going to roll 4 dice total. We're not attracting any if we roll a skull, so this is just all gravy. And 3 of them get shot. In the range, because it is range, we do not worry about that skull. All 3 are shot with the bullets. They go in there. We get the 2 points. We're now at 20 points. We need 2 points more to get the max total, which is awesome. Holy cow. I'm definitely glad I re-reported this. So, there's that. And then there's whatever's the bottom. Okay. So this bottom one is really bad. You get an adrenaline and 2 bullets, but you have to see if you have to roll a die, and if you don't get one of these targets on it, you lose a survivor, there's only you have I think a 1 in 2 chance. There's 3 faces on it that have targets, so you have a 1 in 2 chance, a 50-50 chance of losing a survivor. And then you're facing a horde with 2 skulls, and none of these have any points. So this is definitely not the way we're going. We're not going to give up resources just to do that. We have this, which is not great. We can't spend any adrenaline during the fight, so these 4 zombies just suddenly become that much deadlier. We could flee, but why would we flee? I mean, we get a bullet, we lose these 2, and then we're kind of stuck because we can't flee this last fight if we have to. So I think what I'm doing is I'm pulling this. I'm not looking at that last card. We're going to go to the top. We're going to actually take 2 gas. We're going to take a gas and a bullet, actually. I'm sorry. We're going to take a gas and a bullet. We got 2 bullets, 2 gas here for running away. We got 2 gas here for running away. We still have 6 gas left over. So we guarantee ourselves 6 points. We have 3 bullets for fights, 3 adrenaline to use. So that's what we're looking at. I want to keep everything here so we get the 6 points for those 2 sets. Let's see what our first card is. 1. We can't flee from this fight. We're facing a horde of zombies. All right, so I guess we're not fleeing. Let's go ahead and use 2 bullets. See how many we can take out with just rifle fire. Take out 3 of them. That's half. That's half the horde there. So that's a plus. We now have to then use 2 of the red dice because we have 6 dice total. We're replacing 2 for the number of skulls on there. Please don't let me lose a survivor. All right, not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of the worst thing in the world. Not the worst thing in the world. So 1 target, zombie's dead, right? We have 2 more here. We have 2 adrenaline. So for 4 adrenaline, I mean, we could take out all of the zombies. We have to use 2 adrenaline to make sure that we save all the survivors. If I use 2 adrenaline, I'm down to 5 sets. So unless I get an adrenaline on this last one, I'll have lowered my total by 1. And I think that's going to be worth it. I do not want to risk getting getting a red skull that has no option for saving. So we use the extra adrenaline, we get the extra point. And then this last one, Tim enters pyro mode. If you have the child token, all zombies from this card are killed. Discard the child token. It's 1 point, and it's 6 total with 1 red dice. And the question is, now that I've got 2 bullets, and now that I've got 5 gas, is it worth the point to get? So let's ask ourselves this. We have 5 complete sets no matter what. We would have had 6, unfortunately. But we have 5 from that. We have 6 from the card, 6 from the map, so that's 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If we go for him, we could get 21. The division line is 21. 22 would help us be lucky or genius, so it's not worth it. 2 gas, avoiding the card. Goodbye. And that's the game. And we already just did the scoring, so I'm not going to go through it again. I'm going to go through it again because I'm just that sort of person. At the end of the game, you take up all the red stars on your cards. In this case, we also add in the 6 points for the map token, since we have it, and then 1 point for every complete set of survivor, adrenaline, bullets, and fuel. So that's 5 points. We ended up with a score of 21, which is still really good. I something to still be proud of. I think I played that really well. Like, I did get very lucky in some instances. So it's not just a game of, it is a game of luck primarily. But what do you expect? The game was ostensibly designed by kids who just survived the zombie epidemic. One of the nicer things about the tiebreaker rules for multiplayer, I'm going to read this right here. Like most multiplayer games, they have a bunch of different things that you use to determine break ties. The last one is, if there is still a tie, all tie players share the victory and take up residence in the letter D of the Hollywood side to wait out the zombie apocalypse. This game is not playable in the world of BoJack Horseman. I leave that to you to figure out why. And that's it. That's the game. So let's go ahead and start putting this away, and I'll share my thoughts as I'm putting it away. I really enjoy the theme of this game. I think this is wonderfully thematic. I think it's wonderfully fun. It is a very light game. This is not the sort of game that you say, wow, it was really, really amazing, amazing in-depth strategy there. But it's light. It's fun. It's just, it takes a theme that has been done to death, no pun intended, and really just breathes some new life into it. I love the fact that the game is ostensibly built using the bones of another game. That this kid, after surviving the zombie epidemic, found a copy of Hit the Road and updated it so that he could play it. And like all the components have that, I found stuff around the house and I'm reworking it to make it work. The cards, the extra cards at the end, like you got a Ticket to Ride, you got a Cold War CIA, you got a Dixit card, and I don't know what that's from. I'm sure somebody could tell me. I know I can find it on the web, like what card that is. But everything here feels wonderfully thematic. The contamination markers being card keys, the initiative tokens, which we don't use in single player, you use those in multiplayer, are all things that you would find in your wallet, like a credit card or a punch token card. So that has a really nice feel to it as well. That's those put away. Let's put the people back. I'm glad I could help you survive, kids. All right, let's all join our fellow brethren down there in the land of the bag. There we go. Everyone into the bag. Everyone into the bag. Hello, welcome into the bag. Oh no, who let the zombies in? All right, that's a bit of foolishness there. And I did what I always do. I'm sure you guys do this as well. You folks always do this as well. Leave pieces out that you already thought you wrapped away. So all the adrenaline tokens that I earned throughout the game. We'll go ahead and sort the cards back out. We need the cards that we gave up. So for example, some of these clearly hurt more if you encounter them when they're face down because you can't get around them. So for example, this discard one of your resources. You would never take that face up. If you saw that face up, you'd be like, I'm not taking that. If it was face down though, and you thought, okay, so I got some resources here. I went for the resources. Oh, I lost a resource. You've got this scope icon as well, so that this allows you later on to deal with one of the, it allows you to deal with one of the more deadly things that are going on. You got your little kid there who pops up. There's both a positive and negative result for the kid, and I'll leave that for you to discover. So let's go ahead and separate these out. Because I pretty much just do solo play, I'm not going to incorporate the other cards back in. Those face cards can just stay out. That's fine. I'm going to get these cards back in, so these need to be sorted by type. There we go. I am so glad that I got the map icon though, the map point total though. That really does, it really does make a huge difference in the game in terms of whether or not you're going to go for more points or not. If you're just trying to max out, like if we had not gotten that, we would have been down at 15. That would have been good, and then we probably would have gone for the extra point just to get to that next echelon, because that is how you make decisions in real life. You always look at what point total you're going to get for your actions and then decide whether or not it just magically bumps you up over an arbitrary number. I think that's all the tokens. I think we got to see them all. The bus token, that's the map token. There's Tim. There's another map token. There is, I think, a second map in the game, as we saw, because we actually did see that. Molotov cocktail, a radiation symbol token. That's deadly. We've got the scope there, and then we've got also bandages. This pops up in the first deck if you take on a certain survivor. They are injured, and then potentially they die in the second act or the third act and become a zombie. So there's a lot of little neat stuff in here that is really ingenious in terms of how it sets up in the first deck things that can happen in the third deck. And it's one of the reasons I really like this. I think it would actually be even better if there were more cards involved, and it were more like, okay, so deal yourself out this many cards from deck 1, deck 2, deck 3, but then you also run the risk of just simply never connecting any narrative stories whatsoever. Because the number of cards are what they are, you get those narrative bits sometimes, but not always, and enough times that it makes it feel like it's part of the game. Alright, so that is all closed up. That is going to go in top. This is going to go on here. And that is the game. Thank you so much for joining me. 40 minutes, not too bad. The first one was like an hour. Thank you for joining me. This again has been an ill-advised and stupid journey through the realm of solo board games. The 9th video. Join me tomorrow when we'll be doing another zombie-themed game. This what the theme is for this week is all zombies. We did Tiny Epic Zombies yesterday. We will be doing Zombicide. We will be doing Dead of Winter, plus at least one other game. And I think I might actually be pulling out a print and play, believe it or not. A print and play, which is going to be vital for this year. If you have comments for other games that you'd like to see me play on the stream, please leave them below or in the introduction video for this playlist. And I will see you tomorrow. Another zombie game, another day. And with that, I say ciao.